Now, you might well be asking, how can I do a webinar if I don't have a list? So in this lecture, I want to show you a really simple way of putting together a very successful webinar working with a joint venture partner. And it's as simple as that. If you haven't got the list, then go and find people who already have a list, because in return for sharing your information with their list, they'll make money. And if you do it in the right way, it's going to be really, really easy for them to say yes. Now, there are different ways of working with joint venture partners, and I just want to highlight 3 of them just so you get a flavor of what is possible. The first way is to have collaborators, and here you actually share in the preparation of everything. So the emails, particularly the slides, the content, and all the rest of it. You may even work together and put the product together that you're going to be selling. So that's a very deep relationship. Now, you may simply have a joint venture partner who's going to host the webinar, and then you're going to do all the delivering and the selling and all the rest of it. And then that's the normal case when you're basically coming to him and saying, can I present my webinar to your people and to your audience in return for a commission on the deal? So that's very straightforward. Now, another way is to have a syndicate of people who basically promote your webinar, but don't turn up to it at all. And they will go out and promote it to their list. And in return, they'll have special codes so you can see which people they've signed up to the webinar, and you'll be able to share a proportion of the sales from the webinar with the people from their list who buy your product and service during the webinar. So that's another way of doing it. So they're, if you like, almost affiliates. And on the word on that, you can actually take it a step further, because you could have an open affiliate program and encourage a wide number of people to sign up to your affiliate program for the webinar, and then reward them in due course. And you can take that a step further, because you might even offer them prizes for the people who bring the most registrants to the webinar. So you make it a bit competitive, and you give them an incentive which is separated from the sales of the webinar to actually drive people to it, as well as offering them a commission on the sales during the webinar. So, big question. Where do you find joint venture partners? Well, it actually couldn't be easier, because there are a series of Facebook groups, and I've just put a little picture up on the screen here. And all I did was went into my Facebook and I just searched for JV partners. You might also want to search for joint venture partners, and immediately these groups came up. In fact, I've joined a couple of them, or I asked to join a couple of them straight off. So that's a really good way to start, but you can't just then parachute yourself in. You need to start to build the relationships with the people in there. And maybe if you want to deepen that relationship, you can connect with them through Twitter, or indeed message them directly and start a conversation going, so that they get to know you and they understand that you're a good person to do business with. Another way to take it a step further is to make it easy for your joint venture partners to work with you. So create a package which basically puts the webinar on a plate for them. Now, there's a commission percentage. I normally offer 50% commissions, net commissions of any cost, but basically 50% commissions to split the sales 50-50. But I also would want to present a package of ready-to-go emails, maybe some extra bonuses, obviously the product, obviously the slide deck for the webinar itself, and maybe even some workbooks that can be sent out in advance. So you put together the whole package ready for them, and that makes it very easy for them to put it on, very easy for them to say, yes, I want to work with you. It also shows how professional you are. So if you haven't got a list, it's not impossible to do webinars, and it's not impossible to do very profitable ones. And that's a really good outline, I hope, of how you can do that.